Ladies and gentlemen, Daily Intermission fans, it's episode 2, season 3 of the Daily Intermission podcast. Nate, how are we doing today, good sir?
Not too terrible. A bit of an allergy reaction here coming into the studio. But other than that, not too bad. NFL is back. How are you doing?
Listen, man, it was a great Sunday. We have, if you haven't noticed yet, we have moved the podcast to Tuesdays because of the NFL. So we'll have a lot of NFL talk in quarter one. Quarter two, we'll talk about the MLB. We got a little rapid fire action at the halftime show, a little bit of basketball, NHL update in the third quarter, and then we'll bring it home with a little bit of golf news. But Nate, the episode and the pregame show brought to you by Manscaped.
Yes.
The number one tools for your family jewels, the number one men's grooming product on the market. You can use TDI at manscaped.com for free shipping, 20% off. I mean, we talk about it every episode. I wonder how many people have used the code.
Yeah, it's, really impossible for us to track.
Yeah.
Which...
Not a lot of transparency between the Daily Intermission and Manscaped.
No, it's tough. Haven't really had a call with them either.
No, yeah.
Because they only operate by email.
Yes, I've requested a call with Manscaped, I would say 5 times, and every single time we prefer to operate through email. I'm like, well, that's probably not the...
You like to get a face, though.
Yes.
Or just have like a little bit of a... We're not ripping them by any stretch here.
No.
That's company policy. But,
yeah. I mean, I would think that I would have to change, or maybe we're just not big enough dogs for them to have a call with us. Because I'm assuming there's some.
They do have a lot of sponsors.
Oh yeah.
It seems like I've seen a lot of Manscaped, so maybe that's it. Makes sense. But with all things considered, go get yourself some Manscaped stuff.
Yes. Nate, continuing on in the pregame show, rest in peace to Queen Elizabeth.
Yeah.
96 years old, the Queen of England. And it's been, I'm going to be completely honest, Nate. I'm a sports guy. A lot of my efforts and scholarly endeavors go into sports. I don't really know much about the royal family.
Yeah, I looked up a little bit of it, but I don't know I don't know who gets king. I know now, but I don't know how they pick. I assume it's the older guy. She had a hell of a run too.
Oh my goodness.
She was 1952 on.
Oh, as the queen.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's on our $20 bill.
Yes,
yeah.
she is.
Is that going to be changed?
I have no idea.
The whole thing is just a little over my head in terms of, what their power is, because they do have a prime minister in England.
Yeah.
What do they rule? Yeah, I know they've got a boatload of money.
Yeah. I don't know shit about it.
I know.
I have no idea. It's kind of cool. There's a king now, though.
The queen and king.
Could you imagine?
You're the king.
What's all those?
Sorry, LeBron.
Imagine chilling with, imagine playing around with Charles. It's like, go off, king. Literally, go off, king.
Yeah, LeBron and Derrick Henry are sitting over here going, that's the king.
Yeah, it's like, are you? Because I'm pretty sure this guy's the king.
Nate, like you said earlier, the NFL's back in full force. Week 1, we had yesterday a ton of good content, but every Sunday, if you're looking for our best bets and if you're looking for just good NFL banter a couple hours before the game start, make sure you pop on our platforms. We'll be live with Annie Agar, who's a big NFL correspondent for Bally Sports. She's an awesome just personality, just brings great energy. So make sure you're popping in those streams and saying hi and listening to our NFL banter on Sundays.
Yeah, for sure. It's a good heater. We're gonna get her going again.
Yep.
Obviously every Sunday. So
yep.
Yeah, it's going to be it's the spot to be if you're looking to place bets, folks. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, absolutely. But there was definitely a few upsets. We're going to get into that on quarter one. But Nate, UFC 279 was this weekend, and it was an absolutely wild. So I've never seen this, but Diaz and Hazmat were scheduled to fight in the main event, and Hazmat missed weight by 8 pounds, so they rearranged the fight. So Diaz ended up fighting Tony Ferguson in the main event, in the co-main event, and then Hazmat ended up taking on Holland. This Hazmat character, dude, biggest lunatic I've seen in a long time in the UFC. He's walking through guys minutes into the first round. I'm not sure he's going to have a title fight here pretty soon.
You'd think. How long can you just blow through guys?
Yeah, exactly.
Before, It's like, let's get this guy up there, see what he's really got.
Yeah, exactly. Put him up against the division's best, and be interesting to see what division he'll be fighting in. But Nate Diaz ended up choking out Tony Ferguson in the 4th round in the main event, and Nate Diaz, man, I mean, I think he should donate his brain to CTE research.
Yeah, I mean, they should probably all.
Yes,
really.
Yes,
You know,
the entire UFC. It's in your contract.
Yeah, you should. I mean, you could definitely learn some serious stuff here from. I mean, it's got to be. How many concussions per fight? You have to wonder sometimes.
Man.
You know,
Like
it
it's just
cannot be good for you.
no. I mean, like there's concussions in hockey where like you kind of just get hit, like an elbow to the head and it's like that's a
Yeah.
concussion.
It's like, oh,
These
shoot.
guys full on cannot move for like a minute.
Yeah, they full blown want it.
They full blown get knocked out and are immobile.
Yeah, it's pretty scary sometimes to watch. Honestly, it's
100%.
just like, holy smokes, man! Like this guy is down bad, and then like when they're down, it's like the other guy's got to finish him. So they're just repeatedly
I know.
punching him in the face some more while he's down. And it's like, geez, man. Like, and the refs there are like,
Oh, yeah.
no. And then tags him out. It's like, yeah, what do you have to get 4 shots to the face before you called it?
I know, man.
He's done.
It's still up there though for one of my favorite sports to watch. I was watching the pre-card. Shoot, I mean, I
Prelims?
The prelims. Thank you.
Pre-card will allow it.
Yeah, well, yeah, we'll allow that, but I
Yeah.
mean, it's certainly not standard. I was watching the prelims on Saturday night, and it was good. It was good fun, man. It's there was this massive, I forget his name, Curtis something, massive heavyweight in the first fight, and they were talking about how he was 270 pounds and how or 272. He missed. It was one of the first heavyweights to miss weight because you could be between 215 and 270 pounds, and he was over 270.
That is just blatant disregard to miss weight at that point.
I know.
You know, it's just like,
Anyway, he ended up knocking the guy out, did a front flip, and I was like, these guys are unbelievable,
yeah,
man.
it's heavyweight is just a different breed.
For sure. Nate just finally in the pregame show here in the U.S. Open in New York. Tough finish, really, the U.S. Open. I mean, with the NFL so close to the finish here, and the MLB in full swing. I mean, there's a little bit of disregard there in the tennis world, but a 19-year-old, he's now the #1 player in the men's world. Alcaraz, Spanish individual, absolutely outrageous. 19 years old, wins the U.S. Open, beats Ruud from Austria, I do believe. But huge win for the 19-year-old. I'm going to watch this guy because I remember I was complaining last episode about not having that super stout on the men's side kind of fill the shoes of the Djokovic, Federers, and Nadals of the world. But this Spaniard looks like he might be poised to.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see what happens. It seems like there's been so many 19-year-olds lately, though, that it's just, you know, you got Layla and Emma Raducanu.
Yep.
I can't say her last name.
Yeah.
So hopefully he just like absolutely sticks with it and becomes an absolute freak.
Yeah, no,
That's what I'm hoping for.
he looked absolutely dialed, and then obviously Swiatek won the women's side, the #1 player in the world. She had that huge streak that we talked about a few months back. But U.S. Open was exciting. Obviously, we're hoping that the Canadians can figure it out for next year's round of majors. But that will wrap up the majors. Actually, when is the Australian Open? I think it's in like November or December.
I just had it up here. Just one sec.
Okay.
Australian Open is September. We have not got it in October. I don't believe it is in November.
So maybe it's
unless it's the Rolex Paris Masters. No, that can't be right. That's
No.
it's too short of a tournament. ATP World Tour Finals. I think that's it. It's just
No.
Australian Open. Yeah,
yeah. So
maybe it's January. Yeah, it's January.
okay, January. So yeah, I mean we've got a bit of time off in the tennis world, and for the tennis diehards, they'll be following along with the WTP and the ATP finals. But we'll hold off until January to get back in the mix, Nate. But that's going to conclude the pregame show of episode 2, season 3, and we're moving into NFL because NFL Sunday are back. It was unreal, man. There were some huge surprises. We'll start things off, Nate, with the Cincinnati Bengals at the Pittsburgh Steelers. Steelers ended up winning an OT. It was a crazy game. Joe Burrow threw 4 picks, didn't look very sharp. Mitch Trubisky looked okay. I mean, what a wild start. I mean, a lot of people were on the Bengals to stomp the Steelers. I mean, I think it was -6.5 for the Bengals.
Yeah, I think you're right. I mean, yeah, Burrow had a tough start. What was it? You had the 3 interceptions and a fumble, in the first half.
Early, yeah.
I was like, holy shoot.
Yeah.
That appendicitis was tough on the kid.
But it is worth saying, Nate, that the Steelers do have a great defense, but they will be without TJ Watt. I do apologize. He tore his pec, so that's a huge loss to the Steelers. I mean, this guy's obviously going to be in the when healthy, he's in the Defensive Player of the Year talk. So TJ Watt's going to be out for an extended period of time for the Steelers defense.
I always wonder the pain level on this injury.
A torn pec?
Yeah.
Oh,
it's got to be just awful.
100%.
It's got to be like kind of like a rib. When you think,
yeah,
maybe a little. Not.
I haven't really experienced any of that type of injury.
Yeah, I haven't had a broken rib either, but I hear it's just like, you can't sleep, and it's just, you can't lay on it. And I assume the pec would be pretty tough to like finagle around too when you're like laying down.
Yeah. Oh man.
Unless you're like on your right side, but it's still like resting. So anyway.
But yeah, Joe Burrow, a lot of turnovers. Got to clean that up. Next week they're in Dallas, and I will be on the Cincinnati Bengals next week with the Dak Prescott injury we'll get to later on. But Nate, the Patriots, we're in Miami. They typically don't play very well in Miami, but Mike McDaniel, their new head coach in Miami, got things strung up. Tyreek Hill looked great. He had 8 catches for 97 yards. Tua, pretty good. And the Patriots only put up 7 points, and Miami gets through pretty easily. I heard the commentators talking about during that game, Nate, how, the Patriots may not have the offensive weapons. And I was like, are you insane? Like, a lot of quarterbacks would like having Devontae Parker, Jacoby Myers. I mean, you're looking at Nelson Aguilar. You got 2 great tight ends, Jonnu Smith and Hunter Henry. I mean, if you're complaining about the weapons on the Patriots offense, well, I think you got to be complaining about something different. It's just, you just got to be better. You just got to be more efficient. Yeah. You got to take advantage of the red zone opportunities that you have, and you got to establish a run. They did it for a bit the first quarter, but anyway, I thought the Patriots looked awful, but they oftentimes don't look great in Miami. Yeah. So and obviously too, it is kind of Panic Monday where a lot of people draw conclusions. It's one week, exactly. It's a long season.
There is a lot of season left.
Yeah, a
lot of season left. Like, they're going to be okay.
I think so.
It's not like, well, I don't see them having like a losing record or anything, but like everyone's,
I think they beat the Steelers next week.
Yeah,
in Heinz Field, but that's we'll get into that for Thursday's or for Friday's episode. But Nate, the Colts and Texans tie. This was a very surprising game. I was on the Colts heavy at -6.5. I mean, the Colts are just the better team. They obviously were without Shaq Leonard, their star linebacker, but I mean, the Texans, man, just surprised. And I guess we should have known, like, in division games at home, the Texans, first game of the season, obviously, they were up heavily going into the fourth quarter, and the Colts come back and tie the game. 2 OT games, Nate, that obviously, you continue to ride through your weeks. But yeah, I mean, a tie in week 1, I mean, that would have paid. If you would have bet on that, I wonder what that would have paid.
Oh, man, a tie? I actually don't think it's crazy higher than the overtime odds. Just because it's like, if you get there, they're like, well, we're not bumping it up too much.
Yeah.
But, no, that would have been a nice bet.
What a call that would have been.
Even like now looking back on it too, it's like Steelers Bengals. It's like, I could have seen that going to overtime.
Yeah, any division game, really. Yeah. I mean, both OT games were divisions, and then the other division game you called the OT in.
Yeah,
yeah,
that's right. So didn't happen, but.
That's all right.
Still plenty more coming.
Baker Mayfield looked fairly sad on the sideline, Nate. The Browns win on a last-second field goal. Their rookie kicker hit a 56-yard field goal to beat the Panthers. So the Browns beat the Panthers. Baker looked okay at times. I mean, he had a turnover.
Such a puss.
Yeah, he looked so sad on the sidelines after the game. Man,
just always crying, eh?
Oh man, I don't know what to think of the Panthers. Obviously, Christian McCaffrey disappointed. He only had 33 yards on the ground. I don't think he had too many receiving yards to back that up. So a disappointing week 1 for Christian McCaffrey. But if he gets the engine going, which I expect him to do, I'm not sure who the Panthers play next week, Nate. But that'll be interesting.
The Giants.
Oh, I'm on the Panthers.
Yeah.
I'm not buying what the Giants are selling. They end up beating the Titans, last-minute touchdown.
Absolute. Yeah, that was a good finish.
What a comeback by the Giants. But I'm not buying what they're selling, man. I'm telling you right now, I'm not sold on Danny Dimes. I mean, Saquon Barkley had a decent game, and people are hopeful that for his fantasy production this season. But, I mean, come on now. Are we really buying what the Giants are selling? It's the Titans. I mean, outside of Derrick Henry, I mean, Ryan Tannehill's got to be Mr. Mediocre. I mean, their defense lost one of their best edge rushers for the entire season. I think Landry, his name is. But we'll see, man. I mean, obviously it was a great comeback. I'm happy for the Giants, but I think that's going to be, it's not a great game next week, but I think the Panthers take them down next week.
Oh, yeah. I mean, they're not going to be buzzing around too much. I mean, you look at that division and you know the best team there.
Yep.
It's the Commanders. And plain and simple. But absolute runaway for the boys. Would it beat Jacksonville by 6?
Yes, they did.
Wentz through for 4.
I mean,
like, go
Wentz,
off King.
Wentz
gonna hate this guy next week, but go off King.
No, but he gets a lot of heat, man. Obviously, he turns the ball over in some inopportune situations. But this guy was almost the MVP, I think, in 2018. I mean, this guy's got some talent. I mean, you got Ron Rivera too, a heck of a coach there in Washington. He's got a lot of weapons there. You got Scary Terry, Dotson had 2 touchdowns, rookie there. Logan Thomas is a very serviceable tight end. I think Antonio Gibson's not getting enough love, man. He was catching the ball to the backfield like an absolute maniac. Happy for the Commanders. And I mean, the Jaguars still, it looks like they might have another absolute dog water of a season.
It's crazy, man. Like, Trevor Lawrence didn't look spectacular to me.
No, he was struggling at times, man. Yeah. They were talking, I was watching a bit of that game when he was on the red zone. They were talking like he needs to learn how to throw the changeup. Yeah. Like he just throws absolute heaters all over the field. It's like you got to be able to be a little bit lofty in situations. And a perfect guy to watch is Patrick Mahomes. Patrick Mahomes has every single and I guess
arms, the lobs.
He's got every pitch in the repertoire, and that's what makes him so good. And I mean, Josh Allen's kind of a fastball thrower, but Patrick Mahomes is a guy. If you want to watch a guy throw at every angle, throw at every speed, throw it, and just, have catchable balls. He threw a ball in the seam to Travis Kelce yesterday in like triple coverage, and I was like, it was placed so perfectly, and it was like kind of like scooped under. It was just unbelievable, man. That guy, I mean, obviously we hate on him a little bit, but man, like he is just such a tremendous talent. He's so fun to watch, and I like him at plus 900 to win the MVP right now.
Okay.
Yeah, Josh Allen's plus 450. I mean, Mahomes is like, people are talking about the loss of Tyreek Hill. We'll get into that game right now. Obviously, absolutely beat the brakes off the Arizona Cardinals. But they brought in Juju Smith-Schuster. They brought in Vandal Scantling from Green Bay. They drafted Sky Moore. You got Travis Kelce. I mean, they're going to be a friggin' wagon, and I did not give them enough respect preseason.
Well, it's just the team everybody wants to hate kind of thing.
Yes, 100%.
So it's tough to. But yeah, I mean, they're going to be, like we were saying, they're probably going to win the division.
Yes.
They're an absolute wag.
Yes.
And, it's Mahomes.
They brought in Carlos Dunlap, too, who's just underrated. I mean, Chris Jones is such a freak. Their defense is solid, too. Their offensive line doesn't get enough love as well. But the Chiefs are poised. I mean, we're not basing a huge, predictions off week 1, but they looked midseason form.
That was outrageous, man. 44-17 in like the 4th. I was like, Jesus.
Yeah, it's an absolute smackdown. The Minnesota Vikings beat the brakes off the Green Bay Packers. And man, I don't know who Aaron Rodgers is going to throw the ball to, especially with Alan Lazard being injured this week. I mean, Robert Tonyan, and they've got a bunch of young receivers. They obviously got that Randall Cobb. They brought in Sammy Watkins. They've got this Christian Watson individual as their rookie receiver. But I mean, this is not a wide receiver corps that you got to have for the reigning MVP of the league. I mean,
I give it another week, and he's probably publicly complaining. So we'll see.
For sure. He was actually on Caleb Presley's Sunday Conversation. So I got a kick out of those. But Justin Jefferson, Nate, for the Minnesota Vikings went absolutely bananas, close to 200 yards receiving, 2 touchdowns. I mean, this guy's an absolute freak. And Kirk Cousins is going to be looking for him a lot this year. Kirk Cousins played great. I think this Minnesota Vikings team is going to win the NFC North.
Yeah, I was just looking at it.
They're going to be good this year. But I mean, speaking of the NFC North, I mean, Chicago ends up winning in a monsoon against the San Francisco 49ers, and that ruined a lot of people's Survivor season.
For sure. The Bears, dude. I took them last second too. I was like, you know what? Screw it. It's rock.
Yeah,
weather's horrid.
For sure. I mean, it was
6.5.
Yeah, plus 6.5. It was they ended up winning the game by a boatload. So yeah, I mean, Trey Lance. I mean, we talked about this a few weeks ago, Nate, about having Jimmy Garoppolo there, kind of waiting around. I wouldn't be surprised if we see Jimmy G come in the next. If Trey Lance has a bad start next week, I think Shanahan's record with Jimmy Garoppolo starting is 31-10, and without him starting, it's like 7-21.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Well.
So
I mean, look to week 2 here.
I know
it's probably going to be Garoppolo.
So we'll see what happens, and with the San Francisco 49ers, because they're too talented of a team to be losing to the Chicago Bears. The The Bucks Cowboys rounded off in the Sunday nighter. A lot of people were wondering what Tom Brady was going to look like.
The old kickoff.
And I'm telling you right now, this team is going to be dangerous. I mean, that offense, man. Oh my goodness, man. Julio Jones, Chris Godwin, Mike Evans, Leonard Fournette. You got Cameron Braid as your tight end. I mean, this team is going to be an absolute wagon, man. Tom Brady looked fantastic. I mean, they couldn't score. They couldn't close out drives in the first half, but Dallas didn't have an answer because their defense is phenomenal as well. Mm-hmm. And the Bucks take care of the Cowboys, and Dak Prescott injures his wrist, going to be out for 4 weeks.
Damn, man. That's a tough break for the boys.
Yes.
Bad luck. But absolutely vintage as well.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, I tuned in for the start of this game just to see. It ended up being a field goal show, but yeah, I just wanted to see how Brady was looking. You know, there's a lot going on here. We got divorce chatter.
Yes, we
got
do.
All kinds of stuff.
Yes, we do.
I mean, the guy didn't miss a beat, man. It's hard to believe he's 45 years old, honestly.
45.
It's ridiculous.
And he's still in the pocket. Looks unbelievable and just slinging it.
It's just so obnoxious to think that like 7 years ago or so, he would have been like 38 and you'd be like, oh, he's probably got like a year or two left.
Did you hear Chris Collinsworth's voice last night, how raspy it was?
No, I didn't.
It was unbelievable, man. Anyway, they were going on about it. I guess it was just because he's been calling 3 games in a short period of time, and it sounded awful. But no, I mean, happy for Tom Brady, and apparently he recruited Julio Jones to the Bucks via Instagram DM, and Julio Jones is now on the TB12 method.
It's outrageous.
So we'll see what the Bucks do. We're excited for week 2.
What a time.
Yeah.
Have the guy on Instagram DMs.
So you can follow along on Instagram I'll send out the statistics today from Annie, Nate, and I's record from week 1, as well as turning $20 into 50 or into 500. I think we took a small loss. We put $10 in the Ravens, which returned 18. So we're not going to be down too much from the $20. But I'm not sure how that ended up. Nate, I'm not sure if you saw the quarterback parlay. It ended up missing by 6 yards.
It's killer, man.
6 yards.
Just the way she goes, though, you know, like that's just classic.
5 quarterbacks
For
over
200
1,000 yards throwing, and all I needed was Trubisky. Anyway, it happens in sports betting. Yeah, it was. But anyway, Nate, we're going to conclude the NFL there. That was a lot of NFL banter back and forth, but we'll be looking forward to week 2. We'll be previewing that on Friday. But we're moving into quarter 2, Nate, and MLB chatter. The Jays only a half game back of the Tampa Bay Rays for the wild card in the AL, and that is the race that I'll be watching clearly moving forward. I mean, I don't know if, I mean, I was listening to a Bo Bichette interview, and he was just talking about how, you know, they're not really worried about, you know, their AL East opponents. They don't really take those games more serious than another. But I think you'd have to think, going into they've got 6 games left against the Orioles. They got games against the Yankees. I mean, you have to think like once you're going against AL East teams, you're like, okay, we got to go here.
Well, 100%, especially if you get playing the Yankees.
Yes.
It's like, okay, well, man, we could catch these guys.
Yep.
Just give them a quick sweep. Mm-hmm. They're not that far back. What are they, 6 games? Yeah, 6 games back.
Yeah.
So, I mean, yeah, you get a couple of those games. Plus, you have to win the games against the Orioles.
Oh, mandatory.
You know, like it just has to happen.
Yeah.
But it's not like they're as big of a dumpster fire as once seen.
No, they've been the Cinderella story of the season for sure. Mm-hmm. But yeah, we'll be following along the Jays closely. They've split so far with the Texas Rangers 1-1, and I think the game 3 is tonight. Would have been last night, so we'll see how that goes for them. Albert Pujols, Nate, what a wagon! Passes A-Rod for 4th all time. He's got 697 home runs. He may not have to come back next year.
No, he may not too. I think he's going to get it.
I think he ends on 699.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Oh, man. If he does, he's got to come back next year. You can't be sitting there, man.
No.
Just get 700 on the dot and call it a night.
4th all time. So impressive. You know, a drug-free career. I mean, he's going to go down as one of the best hitters of all time.
For sure.
But, I mean, Aaron Judge came out and said too this week, like Barry Bonds, like it doesn't, like he has the record for most home runs in a season. He has the record for most home runs, and yeah, you can say he was cheating, but how many people in that era? I'm not getting into this chatter, but like
I just don't care.
Neither do I.
Like
you still have to get a bat on the baseball. Like it's still like he's still going to be one of the greatest hitters of all time without juice, in my opinion.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, think about it, the amount of times he was intentional walked. I mean, we've talked about the Barry Bonds.
It's ridiculous how many times he got intentionally walked.
Yeah.
Like, I would love to see the number on it.
It's just, if you pitched to him, it was gone.
Pretty much.
It was outrageous.
I want
to. White Sox manager Tony La Russa has had successful pacemaker surgery, Nate.
Well, we're happy to hear that, Tony.
That was the biggest hoarse voice I think in my entire podcasting career. But Tony La Russa, obviously legendary manager for the St. Louis Cardinals for a long time. Yeah, he's got a pacemaker, and I've got to have a little bit of a.
He had 688 intentional walks.
Barry, yeah. That is unbelievable.
Yeah. And like, imagine if you couldn't do that.
I'm happy that nowadays you can just send the four to the ump and you can just go to first, because that was the milkiest thing
come
ever.
Off the bag and like get over by the side and like have to go back to the plate and then back over. It's just like, oh my god, you got Jorge Posada just catching.
It would just straight up be two guys playing catch for 3 to 5 minutes, and then the guy would walk to first.
Yeah, I mean that was definitely something for the speed of the game. They had to get rid of immediately.
Yeah,
ridiculous.
Giants pitcher Carlos Rodon sets the record. 10th double-digit strikeout game this season. Obviously, it's an absolute wagon. So, I know the Giants are very interested in. There was a headline, Nate, I was reading. The Giants very interested in acquiring Aaron Judge in the offseason. It's like, oh, really?
It's like, yeah, I'm sure. I think the Nationals are up there too.
I think every single team is probably a little interested in Aaron Judge. Especially after this season. But obviously Carlos Rodon, a heck of a pitcher. But Nate, the biggest news in the MLB this week were the rule changes that were announced that are going to be set to take place and be installed next year in the 2023 season. There's going to be a pitch clock for pitchers, 15 seconds between each pitch, 20 seconds while there's a batter on base. I'm not sure the statistics in terms of what the average time between pitches, but it sounds like people are pretty happy about this.
I saw it was on Twitter, and it was like a frame by frame of in minor league baseball where they were trying it out.
Yeah.
And then in the MLB, I think they might have taken it extended at bat just to kind of prove a point on the MLB one. But I mean, this ended up being like 3 minutes and 50 seconds for the MLB, and the guy, like, they had it done in like 1:10.
Okay.
So it's pretty significant.
Yeah. So it sounds like people are pretty excited about this. Nate, this is what I'm interested about. There's going to be shift restrictions.
Yep.
So there's going to have to be 4 infielders outside of the pitcher and catcher that have their feet on the infield grass or infield dirt.
Yes.
So essentially the first, second, shortstop, and third baseman will all have to be, or one of those 4 can be on the grass. Or I'm going to have to look into that. But
I know you have to have guys on either side of the second base.
Okay.
So you can't, like, there's no, like, you can't have everyone come over for the switch or whatever.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
So that's been changed.
And it's essentially lefties. Like, the shift is never really to a right-handed batter. No. But I mean, I'm interested in this because it's like, I don't know if I like this. It's like, wouldn't you just tell the batter? It's like, learn how to hit opposite field, or like, it's a defensive formation in my opinion, but. I mean, I guess it's going to make infielders more athletic, and it's going to be interesting to see what happens.
It's just all about getting more offense going.
Yes.
That's all it is.
Yep.
So it's, but yeah, I know what you mean. It is a defensive strategy. You should be able to.
It's like telling an NFL defensive coordinator, it's like, you can't run cover 3.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, you can't cover the deep thirds. We want receivers running free. It's like, okay.
Yeah. I mean, they're trying.
There's still like there was a 28-0, or what was it?
It was like 29-5.
Yeah, you want more offense?
Yeah.
Anyway, I just find that one's a little funky to me. I'm obviously not a massive baseball fan. I know enough to get by and talk about it for a quarter every episode, but to me that one seems a little funky. But the bases are going to be increased. I get this for player safety. I mean, every time I watch a throw to first or a throw to second, those two particularly, I'm like, ooh, this could be something. It just seems like it's just poised for something nasty. And I get at first there's a different base to tag than the base that's being thrown to. But second base especially, it's like there just seems like there's just a lot of room for injury. So yeah, they're going to be increased by 3 inches, and those are the major rule changes for next season, Nate.
Yeah. Not anything too crazy.
No.
Like the pitch clock is.
That's huge.
That's something I didn't think I'd really ever see.
Yeah.
So I mean, I like that one.
Yeah, I do too.
Let's speed it up.
I don't need to watch a guy pick at his crotch and rub his hat and look around at all the bases and then
I can't be looking at Robbie Ray's rear end for that long.
No.
Then I just end up not watching the game anyway.
Yeah, exactly. Can you imagine if Robbie Ray was playing at home and like had a little stomach issues going on? Anyway, there'd be some stains, man.
Yeah, the white pants.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, those things turn brown quick.
Yes, man.
It's facts.
All right, Nate. That's going to conclude MLB quarter 2. That's a half an hour first half. Good thing the second half is going to be fairly quick. There's not a lot of news in the NHL and NBA.
There's certainly not.
But we got the halftime show coming at you, Nate. Rapid fire. So I don't think we're going to have a timer. We're just going to be answering them. You know, you get like kind of 3 to 5 seconds to kind of split out an answer.
Are we going 1-1-1-1?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. You want me to start?
Start off.
Okay. Favorite baseball stadium?
Fenway Park.
Bang.
Okay. Name 3 New Jersey Devils.
Oh, we're doing it differently. Mine are all like opinions for yours.
Oh.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. So.
Okay.
I mean, we got two different worlds.
Yeah.
Here.
Okay. Yeah.
3 Devils.
Yep.
Heischer, Hughes, and I was gonna say Subban, but he's certainly gone. Jesper Bratt.
Boom.
Yeah. Favorite minor league baseball team?
I'll go with the Portland Sea Dogs.
I love it.
Yeah.
They're an absolute wag.
Or the Pawtucket Sox.
The Pawtuckets.
What country is Novak Djokovic from?
Serbia?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So yours are more trivia. Mine's just like opinion. Okay.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
Yeah, all right. Fave league outside the Big Four?
The PGA Tour.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I had a feeling.
Yeah. The UFC is climbing though, man.
I thought that might have been another.
Yeah. The UFC is climbing. I'm so captivated by watching people fight.
Yep.
I didn't think I ever would be.
Yeah, it's good stuff to watch.
Name a golfer from Spain.
Spain, Sergio Garcia.
Boom.
Favorite type of dog?
I would go with a boxer.
All right.
I grew up with boxers. Yeah.
Yeah, they're good dogs.
How many rings does Steph Curry have?
3?
4. Yeah.
All right. Well,
That's tricky.
that is true.
Because you'd think this anyway, it was like 2014, 16, 18, 2022.
Oh yeah, shoot, man. I forgot they won this year.
Yeah.
Oh, Jesus. Sketchiest dog.
I would say a pit bull.
Yeah.
I would say a pit bull, man. They're muscly looking things.
They
man.
are, man. You ever see like those pictures of the ones where it's just like they're juiced? It's
Oh
like,
man.
Jesus.
I know, man.
Who's walking who now?
What season is this for Tom Brady? What number?
23?
Boom. They had Michael Jordan doing the intro to Sunday Night Football.
Oh my
They're like,
Lord.
I'm back. Season 23. It's like, okay.
I love it though. Worst NFL stadium.
Oh, I would go Soldier Field in Chicago.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's just this,
It's kind of a dump.
it's a dump, dude. This grass turf that's always getting chewed up. Yesterday was a monsoon.
Can't believe how bad that weather was, man.
It was insane.
ridiculous.
Did you see the clip of Buddy getting the water and the popcorn?
No.
Oh, it's like he bought the jumbo plastic bin and it's full of water and he dumps it out. Anyway, he lost about half the popcorn.
Unrecoverable food from water.
Yes, it is. Who's the owner of the Dallas Mavericks?
Mark Cuban.
Yes, sir.
Worst NHL arena.
Worst NHL arena. I'm gonna have to go with the Arizona Coyotes and that if that doesn't count.
Definitely counts.
Okay.
It has to be the worst one.
Yeah.
It's not even close.
They are gonna sell out every game this season, apparently, Nate.
Well, I should hope so. 5,000 people in there.
Can you name one player in the CFL?
Currently playing?
Yeah, I played with one at Holland College.
Oh, I can. Geez, dude. What's the guy?
K.
Okafor.
Boom.
Okay.
There you go.
Yeah, not a big CFL guy.
No, nor am I.
I was going Anthony Calvillo
Oh,
off the hop,
yeah.
but that's not going to happen. Most poorly managed NFL team.
Oh, it's a good question here. I mean, the Jags are pretty poorly managed. I mean, the Houston Texans, I don't really know what they're saying. I'll go with the Jags or Texans. They seem to be pretty poorly managed, in my opinion.
Okay.
What is Muhammad Ali's first name or real name?
Oh, man. I'm going to go pass here.
It's Cassius Clay.
Okay, no, I haven't seen that before.
Okay.
That hasn't happened. Best game you've ever watched?
It's people are going to know this before. Everyone take a guess. Yes, it was the 2017 Super Bowl when the Patriots came back from being down 28-3. A short second is the 2014, I do believe, Nate. Or was it 2013? The Leafs up 4-1. Yeah, 2013. The Leafs up 4-1 in the third period, and then Nathan Horton, Milan Lucic, Bergeron come back and win.
Yeah, that was absolutely AWOL.
Can you name the 4 teams in the NFC East?
The NFC East.
Yep.
The Eagles.
Yep.
Commanders.
Yep.
Giants.
Yep.
And who the hell am I missing over there?
Come on, America's team.
Oh, the Dallas Broken Neck Cowboys.
There you go.
How you doing, Hazen? You old rat bastard. Worst managed NBA team. What?
You're allowed 1 curse word per episode. That's a warning.
3.
Okay.
No, didn't do it though. That was a cutoff.
That was a cutoff.
Worst managed NBA team.
I'll go with the Sacramento Kings.
Yep.
What the fuck are they doing?
I don't have a fucking idea.
All right.
Okay. One more.
Things are getting out of hand.
They are.
Who's got the biggest wrench in sports?
Biggest wrench in sports? This certainly was not on your... Was this on the actual list? Oh my God. So it was. Man, you'd have to reckon like a guy like... I mean, you'd say Yao Ming, but... maybe you wouldn't
think?
say Yao Ming. I'm going to go with... I'm going to say like Barry for aerobic athlete or... oh, man. Who's that guy in the NBA or in the NFL that... who's standing off to the side of their pants? It's just like...
Teddy Bridgewater.
Yeah, Teddy Bridgewater. I'm going Teddy.
Confirmed hammer.
Yeah.
And if you haven't seen it, look up Teddy Bridgewater College hammer pick.
Or penis may pop up easier, but...
Yeah, anyway, that's a little
outrageous.
outrageous. That's going to conclude the halftime show, Nate. Wow, that got out of hand. But, Nate, we're going to move into quarter 3 here. We got a little hockey and NBA talk to talk about. John Tortorella came out this week. He was on XM Radio saying that the Flyers room needs to be addressed. He has some major concerns. I mean, John, how do you know? Nobody's even there yet.
Yeah, I know. It's ridiculous. Also, I mean, they're just completely screwed anyway.
The Flyers?
Screwed. Yeah. They're completely screwed.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what John Tortorella can do there. I don't know what's going on with, defenseman Nate, Ryan Ellis.
Right.
Is he, like, I'm hearing that his career might be done.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, shoot.
So, and they paid him some big bucks.
Man, they've tried to take some steps and they just get kind of screwed each year. Like they went and got Niskanen from Washington. That was like their right-handed guy. And then he was just like, 33 years old. He's like, I'm retiring.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he was good, man.
I love that guy, man. He was a really solid two-way guy.
Yeah, no, it's going to be interesting to see. I think Tortorella's going to have these guys play the right way. Like, they might be a team that's tough to play against. But you're going to need way better seasons from Travis Konecny, who had an offseason, Kevin Hayes, who had an offseason, Cam Atkinson, who was, a little bit, under the...
just so damn streaky there. It always seems to be the case, minus like...
JVR? I mean, if you would have asked me...
is terrible.
You would have asked me how old JVR was, I would have said he's 48.
Yeah.
It seems like he's been in the league. It seems like, though, I will give him a fair. When you're in the Leafs organization, especially in those dog days, it felt like those were 10 years on people's careers. And they were 3, 4, 5 years,
Yeah.
But yes, like I said in the halftime show, the Coyotes are set to sell out every single game. Congratulations to the Arizona Coyotes. You can get 5,000 people in your stadium on a massive university.
Yeah.
Like congrats.
So help me.
Like,
God,
how many?
Better be
that environment actually has a nice opportunity to be nice and loud.
It could be a zoo.
Yeah.
It could be an absolute
Hopefully
zoo.
I mean, if you were a marketing coordinator or in like someone in that management of the Coyotes, I'm getting cheap beers for sale. I'm getting like shakers and I'm making that environment crazy, which again is not... It's undervalued and it's not appreciated enough in sports. Is creating a unique environment at your stadium and having someone like spearhead that strategy. And I think that you can really make a crazy environment in some arenas. And anyway, I'm not going to get into that. But Leafs sign Austin Reese to a professional tryout. Nate, I'm surprised that he has moved on from Pittsburgh. Like, he seemed like Mike Sullivan gave him a lot of opportunity. He was a situational guy on the fourth line for a long time in Pittsburgh, but I think he's going to make the Leafs.
Yeah, best remembered for Tom Wilson absolutely knocking him out and breaking his jaw in the playoffs.
Yeah.
This guy, he had like some streaks like early on where I was like, You always get this like little bit of Pittsburgh worry because it's like, oh God, who are they pulling out of the woodwork now?
Yeah.
And I thought this might be another one of those guys, but I mean, it's a good little grab by Toronto.
Yeah.
You never know what's going to happen here. I mean, if you couldn't get it done with Crosby and the boys, it might be a little, I mean, like,
for sure,
it might be a done deal, but we'll see. I mean, whatever. If you're the Leafs, grab whoever. Who gives a shit?
No, absolutely. UC Saros, Nate, he's set to make the return next season. Obviously, that was a huge loss for the Predators in the playoffs. Like, that was kind of out of nowhere. Like it was like the last game of the regular season. He like pulled his groin or something, and it was like, yeah, he's done. It's like, well, he's the reason why you're there. So, go see you later, boys.
100%.
You know. Yeah. And in NBA news, it's been extremely quiet. So we're ramping up, a few weeks away from the regular season. So that's the update of the NBA. Moving into quarter four.
Pat Beverly was angry.
Yes, he was. Moving into quarter four, and a little bit of golf talk here. The BMW Championship was this week. A lot of uproar out of the BMW Championship because there was 18 Live Tour players playing on this. It's the DP World Tour, formerly known as the European Tour's biggest tournament. Roy McIlroy came out and was verbally disappointed. Billy Horschel and Ian Poulter got into a nice verbal argument on the golf green. They actually they're pretty good buddies. They actually had good fun with it. They did like a fake voiceover. I don't know if you saw that, Nate.
No, I did not. That's hilarious.
Pretty funny. And Shane Lowry ends up winning. So Shane actually had a sneaky good year. I mean, he started off really hot. He was in the mix at the Honda Classic, I do believe. And he ends up winning the biggest tournament on the DP World Tour. So I'm happy that a PGA Tour player won. And Shane Lowry is just an absolute beauty. Scotty Schaffler, Nate, announced as the PGA Tour's Player of the Year. I mean, not really any question there. It was either him or Cam Smith. And, I mean, once Cam Smith made the decision to leave, they weren't going to give him the Player of the Year.
No, they certainly weren't.
No.
It'd be kind of hard to give a guy Player of the Year when he is not even playing there.
Yes.
So.
But Scotty Schaffler, I mean, we'll just do a brief kind of, I mean, that stretch that he had at the Waste Management there on Palmer Invitational, the Masters, I mean, such an amazing run. He had 4 second place finishes as well. Yeah. I forget the 4th tournament. Was it the match play that he won?
I think that rings a bell.
Does it? I can't think of the 4th tournament that he won this year, and that is just a slap in the face to all the listeners.
I'll try and pull it up.
Yeah, I'm gonna lock in that it was the match play.
I thought it was. Here, we got it here. Okay, so it's PGA.
What tournaments did he win this season? The Waste Management, the Arnold Palmer Invitational, the Masters, and it may not tell you, Nate.
Yeah, I'm in a tough spot here.
Yeah,
this might be the move though. I got PGAtour.com.
Yeah, okay.
Maybe.
Just on a side note, speaking of Cam Smith, at TPC Sawgrass, where they host the Players, the PGA Tour's biggest event every season, they have taken away his championship parking spot. That's where Cam Smith resides and plays out of. So obviously Cam Smith is getting it done dirty by the PGA Tour for leaving to the Live Tour.
Yeah.
As you would expect, I mean, it's a tough scene.
Yeah, it's the match play.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
It's the match play.
Is that good? Okay. Yes. Neat.
Yeah.
We're back. The PGA Tour season starts this week.
Yeah, I know.
It's pretty crazy, eh?
Quick turnaround, huh?
And the Fortinet Championship is what kicks it off. And actually, there's some decent names. So we'll give out our best bets for Wednesday. We'll get right back on that train because I would recommend sprinkling. Like the odds are so good that we give out each week it's rarely less than 10-1 that we give out. If you sprinkle these bets with toonies, $3, $5, and put it on the golfers that we pick, I mean,
you're probably going to win.
You're going to win some cash. I mean, we had 7-8 winners last year, and we will be right back on that train this year.
Yep.
Nate, fire wagon of the week for me this week was Tom Brady coming back, 45 years old, stomping the wheels off the Dallas Cowboys. Fun fact, he's never lost to the Dallas Cowboys in 23 seasons in the NFL.
That's hilarious.
America's team.
That is hilarious. Tom Brady's team.
Yes.
Mine is Albert Pujols.
Yep.
Also quite old.
Yes.
Also just belting home runs.
Yes, he is.
He's a fucking beauty.
Yes, he is.
So that's mine.
Absolutely. My dog water of the week this week, Nate, is the San Francisco 49ers. I think that a lot of people are going to be disappointed in the result, losing to the Chicago Bears this week. Obviously, the weather played a big role, but I think that Jimmy Garoppolo is going to be your quarterback that you should be looking to in the next few weeks. I think Trey Lance is going to have a good career in the NFL. I just don't know if he's ready. And I know it's tough in a monsoon to judge the guy, but this week, all eyes are on Trey Lance.
Yes, they certainly are. He might get another game just with that monsoon.
Yes.
That's a little tough.
Yes.
My dog water of the week is the Indianapolis Colts.
Yes.
You know, a few factors here. One, it's the Texans.
Yes.
I get they're playing at home, blah, blah, blah. Listen, you can't be not only not beating the Texans, for the love of God, you can't be tying an NFL game. No. Tying.
Yes.
Like, it's so ridiculous. What do you get? What do you think you get a tie every other year?
Yeah, there's not many, man.
Like,
it looks so brutal.
Year. There was one not that long ago, though. I remember. I was like, they tied.
I know. So right now, the AFC South is leading with tie.
Yeah.
And so tie, loss right now in the AFC South. So
the new NFC East.
Yeah.
Fuck it.
All right, folks, that's going to conclude episode 2, season 3 of the Daily Intermission podcast. We appreciate it, guys. Make sure you 5-star this episode on whatever platform you're listening to. Make sure you follow us on all of our socials, and make sure you say give us a how are you in the inbox on Instagram.
Yeah, hit us in the chalkboard too, folks. How
that's
we doing?
Right.
Let's absolutely feed.
We'll see you on Friday.
Peace.